Hello, my children.
I always remember the first day. The first day because, God, I was so nervous.
And he didn't show it. I don't
No,
think
I
he showed
did.
it. You didn't.
I was shaking.
I do apologise, Your Majesty.
George. Just George.
It is very daunting, but it's also nice to know that you already have like this massive support behind you and people who care about this character as much as you do.
And to put your work out into the world and for fans to really connect with it, but also Shonda and Netflix to connect with it and want to deep dive into this character's life and how she became the woman that she is and the woman that we know and love in Bridgerton was, yeah, very humbling.
I do not know you.
I do not know you either. Except that you are terrible at climbing a wall.
You try climbing a wall in all of these garments.
When you're stepping onto a set for your first time, basically, and then it's your first time on this job, and it's a set that big, and you can see there's like 52 extras, there's like 16 horses, there's this enormous carriage.
Those massive like things with the fire.
Yes, these like raised fire pits.
Yeah.
And then there's a drone in the air and you can't hear anything. And, you know, I'm like trying to lip read your lines, and thank God I'd learnt my lines so well, because otherwise that would have been the first thing to go. And then you've got to go on to the 7th step for your 3rd line, but come back down to the 4th for your 6th line, and then get back up to the 17th step for your 19th. You know, it's like, my brain was like, oh Lord, what am I doing?
It threw you in the deep end.
Yes, and it was so great.
It feels so real when you're in these big homes, because they are still there today. And it is actually quite conflicting as a Black body in those spaces, because you recognize that the opulence of these homes has come from slavery, has come off of the backs of people that look like me. And so it does have this push and pull, but it does allow you to kind of tap in to the layers and the minutia of everything that these women and people are feeling.
For me, through the medium of storytelling, we can, you know, kind of ask these difficult or discuss these difficult questions sometimes, you know, about diversity and representation. And I think Bridgerton and Queen Charlotte does it really well by just having us there, you know, by celebrating us in all our glory, by showing that we love, we cry, we laugh, we wear beautiful, gorgeous clothes, we're sexy, we love gossip, you know, all of that stuff is really celebrated in a really diverse, inclusive platform.
Do you not understand? You are the first of your kind. That opened doors, so we are new. Do you not see us?
We definitely explore like their emotional landscape of both of the characters, and if a viewer watches it and believes that they're watching, I mean, I'm talking about George right now, I mean, both of our emotional landscapes are explored. If a viewer watches what he's going through and thinks that it's mental health, then brilliant. I think we made a conscious decision to not necessarily diagnose him. What we do know is that he's dealing with this crippling affliction that is causing him daily abysmal levels of misery. And it was brilliant, and it was great to be able to tackle that and to be able to tackle how that is dealt with. Also, I think what's definitely current is a man's relationship with his self-hatred and shame.
Playing two people and leading a show, sometimes you don't get the complexity of the characters aren't as complex because they need some kind of routine, and then they have lots of different stories around to create that multi-layered narrative. But both of our characters were incredibly complex, and it was just a real honour to be able to play.
Look, do you see it?
I do not see anything.
Well, concentrate.
I cannot concentrate with you hovering and breathing and telling me to concentrate.
Let me just turn the
Would
focus
you
a tiny
just
bit.
step away and let me... Oh my word.
What was like a highlight for you, like a moment that you particularly enjoyed filming that maybe like wouldn't have made it on Bridgerton, on that side of Queen Charlotte?
The scenes with Brimsley are really, I think, an insight to that relationship, and also an insight into who Charlotte is. You know, Brimsley in Bridgerton doesn't really speak, you know what I mean? He kind of says, yes, Your Majesty. But in Charlotte, he speaks. And those words are, as you say, really intimate.
You are always there, behind me, just all the time?
Whenever you need me, Your Highness.
What is your name?
Brimsley, Your Highness.
Brimsley. Tell me about the king.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so it was a lot to get into the costumes. It took like maybe an hour. It takes 2 people. But after a while, it becomes like a routine. Like you start to figure out like different, you know, techniques to get yourself into the corset by yourself, or, you know, holding these like heavy dresses on your hips by yourself. But it informed so much of the characters because they are in these very limited and strict, confined situations, these women. But the outfit that I loved the most was like this 2-piece suit. It was like yellow and dark blue with a little matching hat. And I wear it in the standoff with like Princess Augusta, and I just felt like a badass in that.
And I feel like we need to talk about the hair.
Yes.
This season, because I feel like it just reaches like crazy new heights.
I know, the one in the opera, right?
Oh my
the,
gosh.
yeah, the lovebirds.
There is such a conversation when it comes with black hair. It means so much in the black community. Just because it is something that was cut off from people. It was something that was needed to be controlled and seen as ugly. And so even when you look at the way we treat our hair now, it shows that there's been progress, but it feels like the last stronghold. And to see kinky hair, to see true like Afro hair put and seen as regal and sculpted and treated with such care and devotion by like the hair and makeup crew, you don't get to see that often. Usually it's just hacked away and brushed up and, you know, it's treated like the problem. So to see it being brought into this space of the period genre, it is revolutionary.
Anything you wish you'd kind of stolen from a set?
I mean, so I ate a lot of the food off of the set. I did successfully steal that.
Ooh.
Telescope. All the and there's also like a crank, a wheel crank that yeah. I don't know why I did that.
That's all right.
That's cool. But there was that thing that moved it. I thought that was really cool. I would have maybe taken that.
There's a few things that I do have, not from set, but some costume things that I have from set. I'd love to take a tea set, one of her tea sets. I think that would be cool.
I like the mirrors a lot. I think they're beautiful, and we don't really have those in modern, like people's normal houses. You don't really have these like gold-plated
Like
mirrors.
the one right
Like
there.
the one right there. How odd. So those are the things that I would have, if I was allowed to take, was the mirrors.
Where would you want your character to go next?
You know, I am so curious about seeing where this den of iniquity that she discusses in season 1 of Bridgerton, where that comes from. I would love to see her engage in her freedom, and I'd love to see her happy.
I want to dance in a ball, and I want to sing at the opera.
Do you feel like you're missing out because everyone's dancing around you all the time?
Yes, I do. I'm constantly saying to Jack, our choreographer, when am I going to dance? When is my ballet? Yeah, I think Brimsley and I would make a great couple, dancing partnership.
There is so much love around the show that, you know, you just want to do it justice, and we can only do so much. And then you go to the editing room, and then, you know, it completely is in everyone else's hands.
Changes.
So there's the terror in that, but I think overall the excitement when it comes out will be the overarching feeling.
Yeah.
I hope, at
Yeah,
least.
fingers crossed.